It's my privilege to invite our president, our leader, Barri Waltcher.
Shana Tova. Since there are so many of you here today who I haven't yet had the pleasure of meeting, I just want to start by introducing myself. I'm Barri Waltcher, and I want to thank you so much for the privilege of helping to lead this congregation. It is a real honor. As I reflect on the 3 months since my term began, one of the great surprises about being president of this congregation is how much time I spend thinking about chairs. Yes, I said chairs. It started at a conference last spring for presidents. Synagogue leadership, I learned, is a three-legged stool. The rabbi, the president, and the executive director need to collaborate to keep the synagogue balanced. So on that front, I am very, very fortunate to partner with Rabbi Mosbacher and with our executive director, Amy Schwach. Both of them bring experience and energy, warmth and wisdom to our partnership and to the synagogue. And I want to extend a special welcome to them both and to their families on their first Rosh HaShanah with us. In our first few months together, I can confidently say that our three-legged stool is on pretty sure footing. Today, Rabbi Mosbacher and I are not only new to this three-legged team, we also are new faces in the chair on the bima. As you all know, we spent a long time searching for the right rabbi. 2 years and much community conversation later, it is very gratifying to see Rabbi Mosbacher fit so comfortably, not only in his new role, but also in his new chair. As we approach the 100-day mark of his time here, I wish for us a long and meaningful partnership. Though I also occupy a new chair on the bima, my husband Dan and I have been members here since 2001. We both grew up with strong Jewish identities, though like many young couples, we weren't members of any synagogue when our children were very young. And then one day, our daughter Sarah, who was then 6, asked if she could celebrate both Christmas and Hanukkah. We told Sarah, Jews don't celebrate Christmas, but she pointed out that we weren't really doing anything Jewish. Needless to say, we hightailed it over to Sha'arei Tefillah. 2 Grinches, checkbook in hand, determined to nip Christmas in the bud. I started out like so many of you, looking to pass on some combination of religion, tradition, and heritage to my child, but found so much more here for myself. So I told you about the three-legged stool that I learned about last spring. The second lesson that I learned about chairs took place on the very first day of my term. It's Friday, July 1st, and we have a perfect storm. Rabbi Mosbacher's first day on the job, the start of the July 4th weekend, and it's also Shabbat. I'll admit to you that I'm half convinced that because of the holiday weekend, attendance at our services will be at an all-time low. I'm worried that we'll disappoint our new rabbi. But by 6 o'clock that evening, like manna from heaven, I am worry-free, as more than 200 congregants appear in an outpouring of enthusiasm and optimism for our new rabbi. So of course the crisis quickly pivots from, oh no, will anyone show up, to, you guessed it, we need more chairs for our oneg. Since that night, we've had 13 welcoming events for Rabbi Mosbacher, and even though I continue to fret deep down about attendance during the normally quiet summer, time and again, you not only showed up, you turned these events into standing room only. We have had morning learning sessions that overflowed, a pizza shortage at our pizza and popsicle get-togethers on the roof in the sizzling heat, an evening dessert reception packed to capacity, and when we had the first of our newly minted speaker series with Ruth Calderon, a former Knesset member, a few weeks ago, our maintenance team was quickly putting out more chairs even as our speaker started speaking. These chair shortages are, of course, a good problem, the kind of problem you want to have. So what does all of this turnout and excitement, this chair challenge, represent? Elie Wiesel once said that God gave human beings a secret, and the secret was not how to begin, but how to begin again. To me, these chair challenges are a sign that we are at a new beginning, a new season, a new year, a new rabbi, a time of renewal. And if you'll indulge me further, when you drop the R from the word chair, it becomes chai. You got that quickly. A sign of vibrant life. And that's exactly what our chair problem is, a sign of vibrant life. New beginnings can be exciting. They're filled with not only new people, but also new possibilities and new ideas and new energy. And yet, as Rabbi Mosbacher so wisely told us on July 1st, change can also create anxiety. Who hasn't had a sleepless night worrying about a new job, a new school, or delivering her first High Holy Day address? I only wish it had been one sleepless night. And beginning again, of course, doesn't mean discarding important traditions. That's what brought me here 15 years ago, and I'm sure brings many of you here today. So speaking of tradition, Shaarei Tefillah has a long history of renewal. In 170 years, we evolved from an Orthodox community on Worcester Street to a Reform community here on the Upper East Side. Along the way, we had our home in Midtown and the Upper West Side, so we know from change. We moved into this building in 1958. That's a little older than I am, so I can relate to the fact that the building is showing its age. This summer, I shared with you that talks about developing a new building on the site are continuing, and I believe we are close to coming to terms that make sense for this community. We heard from many of you at the summer welcome events how much you want our building to match our potential, that it's disappointing when your friends choose to join other synagogues or other school programs because they offer newer, more appealing facilities. And every day here, we see a different chair challenge, the challenge of fitting all of our activities into this space while knowing that we want to grow and innovate and continue to attract new members. Therefore, the prospect of designing a new building to accommodate all of our needs is an incredible opportunity. Sitting here in this sanctuary today, it may be hard to feel that imperative. For many of us, this space is our spiritual home and has been for years, even decades. It holds many special memories. But I know two things for sure. One is that we do need to invest in the building, whether by renovating or rebuilding. And the other is that we are going to need your help to do it. I'm confident that whichever path we take, this community will remain committed and strong, because that also is part of our tradition. And I can assure you that any decision to rebuild will not be made without your participation. If and when the board determines that the proposed terms are in the best interest of the congregation, all of our members will vote on whether or not to move forward. And before any congregational vote, we will have forums to review and discuss the proposal in depth. If these discussions come to pass, believe me, I have learned my lesson. I know we will need many, many chairs. I talked earlier about how synagogue leadership is a three-legged stool, and I want to suggest a different chair metaphor. To me, a successful synagogue is a solid four-legged chair. One leg is our leadership. The second is our history, everything that came before today, our tradition, our foundation. And the third leg is our future, unknown, but connected to our past. And the fourth leg, essential to keeping this chair upright, is you. Your partnership is essential to the balance of this community, and its success is driven by your desire to participate with your time, your presence, and yes, also your financial support. Whether it's our prayer, our traditions, our programs, our social action, or our social interaction, I hope that what we do here and your connection to this community feels important and relevant in your life. As many of you know, it is our tradition this time of year to conduct our annual appeal solicitation. This process of renewal requires resources as we invest in the most important work that we do, filling our chairs, making this a place where everyone can belong, be known, and find meaning. Shaarei Tefillah has long been committed to building innovative programs for congregants of all ages. This requires outstanding staff and talented clergy. As a nonprofit organization, we rely heavily upon your contributions, including and beyond your membership support. So I ask that you continue to make Shaarei Tefillah a priority in your lives and in your philanthropic decisions. The top of your High Holy Day ticket has an opportunity to make a pledge to our annual appeal. If you wish to do so today, there will be ushers coming up and down the aisles to collect pledges. If you don't want to give in the sanctuary, obviously on your way out or online, we are not a discriminating organization in that respect. Thank you in advance, though, for your support, all of you. As we renew our partnership, I'm filled with excitement and optimism. May we be blessed with your forgiveness when change feels uncomfortable and when we run short on chairs. And may we also be blessed with your commitment and investment in our community as we use God's secret and begin again. On behalf of the entire Board of Trustees, I wish you and your families a sweet and healthy New Year. Shana Tova.